Welcome to a response video to Markiplier. To I Feel Lost. This video. How should I start? I'm gonna make a response video because it's going to be something I've felt, let's say. Markiplier's video has been all about how he feels. And I haven't been following every one of his blogs or vlogs that are late night, mildly or super depressing and or super serious, sappy or emotional type of him reflecting his current state of mind to his fans. I've been seeing it as a problem, and I just sort of wanted to make a video, whether he sees it or not. I've always told people my true thoughts about Markiplier, and I mean, they're not always nice, but at the same time, people have to understand, like, my whole origin story and my own channel. So I'm going to be playing this video and giving ad-lib on the spot responses to how I think. I had made a fucking text document here, but I mean, it just seems more difficult, honestly, because I'd rather see context of him saying it and then me responding, so people actually get from his own voice what he said. But the summary would be basically how I've always seen an issue with Markiplier. And I told a friend, literally, and I left even a comment down below on his video, is I call it an identity crisis. How I see it, the issue with Markiplier is you see so many YouTubers, and they do things in a healthy way. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. Like, you think of characters and personality traits, or you can think of it like furries even. Furries have who they are at the core. They may not even show you who they are at the core, but they have who they are at the core, whether they show it or not. And then they have a fursona, and they sculpt it the way they want, and they give the personality the traits that either they wish they had, that they are, or they simply inject a good chunk of who they are into them. But the difference with that is the balance of how often do you get into character and how often do you please your regular self. And as Markiplier states almost in this entire video, with me maybe missing a few things because I didn't watch it all right now, is I revolve it around an identity crisis that goes into the sociological term Cooley's looking glass self. I'll bring up a definition. Alright, here is a website based on just the whole thing. Now, the looking glass self is a social psychological concept created by Charles Horton Cooley in 1902. It states that a person's self-growth, grows out of society's interpersonal interactions and the perception of others. The term refers to people shaping their identity based on the perception of others, which leads the people to reinforce other people's perspectives on themselves. Sounds like Markiplier to me. People shape themselves based on what others perceive and confirm other people's opinions of themselves. There are three main components of the looking glass self. First, we imagine how we must appear to others. Second, we must imagine the judgment of that appearance. And finally, we develop our own self through the judgment of others. It goes on and on and on. But this is basically, here, wait, maybe the end. By selecting certain physical characteristics or symbols, the avatar reflects how the creator seeks to be perceived in the virtual world and how the symbols used in the creation of the avatar influence others' actions towards the computer user. So, using a computer and technology, basically, that to me is like the conundrum with Markiplier. I'll give a little intro about myself, just for those that are not subscribers to me. I made my channel, which is now like just 4,000 subscribers and slowly growing, because of Markiplier. Because I didn't give a fuck, honestly, about YouTubers to begin with. I didn't care about YouTube. I have an old account. I did a few things that really started off a good channel. Like, I had my Assassin's Creed video before Let's Play even existed. I sort of did Let's Plays before Let's Plays were a thing. I just didn't continue doing it. I didn't give a shit. I didn't care for personalities. It was only until I found Markiplier in like the early 2012s and 2013s with the old indie horror RPGs like The Witch's House and Corpse Party. Those are the kinds of shit I love Markiplier for, because he was a person, not only of course with a sexy voice, which changed everything. Because I was so fucking tired of the high-pitched tone squealing random people that I just could not find myself giving a shit for. I'm sorry if that's blunt or that sounds mean, but that's just how I felt at the time. So Markiplier was the one and only person I felt like I could give him a go, because he had not only the deep voice, but there's just something about Markiplier at the time that I liked. It felt like he was genuine then. It was like who he was who he was. He was his raw self, and it's almost as if how he puts it in this video. And I'll put it in the like context. Let's see here. Him saying, "I feel lost. I'm not looking up anymore. You can't be there for everyone," which is of course an impossible expectation. An obligation overdrives you. What I said here, and the expectations for Markiplier rather than the expectations for Mark. I like to think that there's a separation. That's the main problem. It's an identity crisis, and I've been sort of predicting for a long time. I don't know if people would agree with it, but I'm just going to give out my thoughts and hope it helps. So I don't know. Just I think I've ranted enough about the start. Let's get into the video. I'll have to tell people, hey, the video sort of starts now, but it's going to be a long rant based on his rant. This is going to be fun, isn't it? I was already drunk, drinking some shit, and I was going to bed, and then I was like, okay, I'm a little fucking tipsy, I'm going to go to bed, and I was like, just browsing YouTube on my phone, then I saw his video, and then I got sober because of your fucking video, Jesus Christ. So I was like, fucking Christ, I want to make a video, not to be like, just for the sake of, I just want to get off my chest how I feel about his current thing, because usually... fuck it, let's just get into it.
Hey guys, sorry if I woke you up. I know it's late. I haven't really done one of these late night vlogs in a long time. I don't know what the title says. Probably something depressing.
It is.
Honestly, I'm not depressed if it sounds like that, or
doesn't have
whatever
to be.
it is, or whatever this boils down to in a 3-word phrase. But I don't know. I as is usual when I do these late night vlogs, usually the fuel is me getting nostalgic, and this is no different. I
think it's getting nostalgic. I think there's a longing there. I'm getting this. It'll be like a lot of psychobabble. If you don't want that, too bad. It's a lot of psychobabble, but. He always says it's always nostalgic. I'm getting a feeling that it's because it'll keep going back to people who think Markiplier has changed. Those complaints, whether you see it on Reddit or elsewhere, people always bring up, and there's always going to be a good selection of people that agree with it, is that people think Markiplier's changed, and he went from genuine to fake, or just something off. Some people can't really describe it. Other people are just seeing it that it's a change, like you're forced or exaggerative, or it's purely acting. If there's a huge sensation of longing for nostalgia, it's probably the disconnection that there once was something, but I always, again, revolve it around the issue of you have created Markiplier, which is you, but it is a part of you. And you're trying to appease everyone with who Markiplier is, but Markiplier is not Mark. Mark is like, say, right over here, he's like, hey guys, I'm Mark. And then Markiplier's over here, and he's like, hey, Markiplier. And your perception of what pleases other people, what you hope doesn't disappoint people, is in Markiplier, and what Markiplier thinks, what Markiplier does. And the more you're in Markiplier, the less you're going to please Mark. Mark is over here being like, hey, what am I going to do in all this? And, so the issue here, in my opinion, and I'll probably keep repeating myself, is I believe it to be an identity crisis based on you concentrating so much on Markiplier and not on Mark. There's going to be two needs. Like for me, let's say me as Neco, how I am on camera is obviously going to be different from how I am off. PewDiePie is the same way. He is PewDiePie, where he can be crazy and hilarious, but when you meet him in person, as he just made a funny video about it, people are like, whoa, PewDiePie is like, mellow, he's sort of mature, he's got composure. I expected him to be funny, and then PewDiePie's just been like going crazy and be like, fine, I'm funny, what? And, it's that kind of monologue. Everyone has a separation of character, except for Markiplier. Markiplier is Markiplier. Markiplier is everywhere. Markiplier is Markiplier. But Markiplier is not Mark. I'm sure that he's going to feel like they are really intertwined, but that doesn't make them the same. It's like, you can't mash the teams together and link them. It's just... yeah, Pink Guy. Pink Guy is not the same as his normal self. Pink Guy is an amalgamation of something fucked up. Even iDubbbz's character is different from in-person and in camera. I'm different in person and on camera. It doesn't mean I'm not a nice guy as I can appear on videos. It doesn't mean I can't be a bit of an asshole like I can always be. It's just, Markiplier is a unique thing where I see it, he does not change. He's always in his mold, like clay, he could say. He molded himself in what he perceives others see himself as, and he doesn't get out of it a lot. He keeps, in obligation and responsibility, he keeps going, hey, what? Markiplier was created by the fans, so Markiplier should do this. Markiplier should do that. Markiplier should record this. Markiplier should be happy. Markiplier should look like this. Markiplier shouldn't be depressed. Markiplier shouldn't be ranting right now. Markiplier needs to get up and do this. Markiplier needs to force himself to do this. Markiplier, reject these because it's not what Markiplier wants. But maybe Mark wants to do it. Fuck you, Mark. It's what Markiplier doesn't want. It's what Markiplier wants, but see, it's a problem. Let's continue.
I was looking through DeviantArt, and I was looking at old pieces of fan art, and I was remembering. I was remembering what was going on in those times, and I was taken back to those moments in my life, and I was taken back to, when I was first starting the channel, and one of the key differences between then and now, besides the number of people here, is it's not my attitude towards making videos. It's my perspective from...
There you go. I can't even remember what he said after I paused it, but it's... Let me play that. Holy shit. That's one of the important lines, of course.
It's not my attitude towards making videos. It's my perspective from making videos.
Yes. It's not his attitude, it's his perspective. You have to think perspectives changes, and it's how I learned in sociology through my courses in university and college, is every perspective is a reality. And you have to think of it like that. I mean, when you think every perspective is a reality, perspectives are very easy to create, and every perspective have their own universe, their own world. Every perception is a reality. You have to think of it like that. But it doesn't mean every reality is truth. It doesn't mean every reality is fact. It doesn't mean every reality is based on logic. So we can easily see someone has a perception that becomes reality that we fully just do not like. It's a reality we don't want to touch. We don't want to get into. We hate it. We don't agree with it. Or we object to it. And that can involve politics, or just personality, or traits, or things that we don't want to see in ourselves, and seeing it as a reflection and makes it so we hate it. It means a lot of things. So you have to be careful about how we perceive things, because it can easily be changed. It's just you need someone maybe give you an alternative to keep that in mind.
'Cause before, I was beaming and shining with optimism, and I was looking up, and I was looking up at what could be, and I had aspirations, and I had goals, and I had I had dreams, and I had you guys, and...
Okay, so question is, what are your dreams and your goals now? Because later in the video he says he pushes away movie offerings, books, Hollywood things, acting. He pushes away because it's not what he thinks he wants, because it's either he doesn't think... What is what I wrote down here? Did I even write it down? Either way, yeah, he talks about pushing away stuff because It's maybe I have to respond to that when he actually fucking says that, but let's just go on.
And it was like, you know, it was an underdog story at that point. And
Markiplier, an underdog story featuring Markiplier. I'm gonna be saying Markiplier a lot in that funny tone. Okay.
You know, I miss it. Like, I really miss that. Because, you know, you spend so much time looking at the top of the hill, you don't think what you're going to do when you get there. And here
Yes, okay, that was what I was going to ask. Then what the fuck, if you're saying you like the underdog story, you liked the challenge, like say you were Rocky and you're running up the stairs like dang, 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 dang. You got up the hill, you're like, yeah, I did it, I'm Rocky Balboa. And you're like, I'm number one. And then you beat the Russian. And now you're like, what the fuck do I do now? And now you're like in Rocky 5, and you're like, I gotta keep pushing. You know, guys, gotta keep pushing. I'm not retarded. Enough about that. But, now, so the question then to Mark is, what are your goals now? What is making it so you feel like you're stagnating? Because it's clear stagnation is the issue. I feel lost, hollow, I'm stuck in limbo, it's stagnation. And for me, it's like, what I do is, I, of course, am in the same situation. I am the underdog. I'm pushing myself to try to get to the top. But the difference is, my aspirations won't change. I know I won't change. I know, because I know who I am, and I know what I want. I'm a very low-maintenance person. What I want, well, that would get a little personal, but I know what I want, and I know how to get it. That's the key. Markiplier, I don't know what he wants. But he's always about what Markiplier wants, or what he needs. When I say what Markiplier needs, Markiplier is not Mark. We have to establish that difference. Markiplier is not Mark. Mark made Markiplier. Markiplier is Mark, but Mark isn't Markiplier. Markiplier is Mark, but Mark isn't Markiplier. If you get what I mean. That's the whole conundrum of this, how I see it. It's the whole identity crisis thing, and the whole nostalgia of being clung to the past, and what others people have said that he's changed is because of that, and I think he feels it. But I remember in one of his Reddit AMAs, he responded something like, I don't feel like I've changed. He was like sorry about it, but he says he'll keep doing what fans like, and he doesn't know a change. But it's like unfortunate that people think that way or something. I can't remember, but it's something about him saying he doesn't notice the change of old Markiplier versus new Markiplier, which everyone has, or not everyone, but a lot of people can collectively see or move on from him. But at the same time, it's like he still branches himself in a way that, you know, appeases a lot of people. But it's what appeases people isn't what appeases self. And what I do, of course, is distinguish what appeases me, non-Neco, versus what appeases me as Neco. What appeases me as Neco is finding a really good fucking game and being excited to play it and showing other people my excitement for playing a niche game I've never seen before, others have never seen before, and I did not expect greatness. And when I play the greatness and my sheer unexpected raw emotion of playing a game I never thought existed and finding it at that time and playing it before anyone else, that gives me a great euphoric feeling, like the excitement of, oh shit, this game is actually great. Because my regular self in real time, but not me, not Neco, my real self, I'm like bored as fuck. I am basically depressed. I feel like I'm stagnating, I'm hollow, but the why is because I find everything a redundancy. I find life redundant and repetitive, where I'm always waking, eating, working, money, buying things, playing games, sleep, rinse, and repeat. It's the human life. Whether you work more and you sleep less or vice versa. I'm already tired of that, and I've been tired of it since I've been like 22 years old. I've been tired of living in that. And that just means you have to change things up. And the only way you can really change things up is if you have freedom and money which I don't have. So I'm forced to continue doing that, and most other people in the world are. Markiplier, however, isn't. He has the freedom, which is why he shouldn't be in his position, and he needs more self-reflection, simply. So the main difference is me and Neco, if that doesn't sound confusing, we both are really excited to find games that excite and are unexpected, because the one thing that excites me as a human being, 100%, and it will resonate with both characters, is to find that game that I can't predict, or that excites me and I either underestimated it or I didn't predict that it would excite me. Because most things don't excite me these days. My conundrum, sorry if this video is just not 100% about Markiplier. I'm trying to put it as myself as an analogy and as an example of how I know how he's feeling, but that's why I always brandished it as an identity crisis. Life to me is boring because nothing excites me anymore. Nothing is thrilling. I love it. What really excites me is when I find like a professor or a really smart guy, and when I listen to them talk, I can view them as senpai, basically. I can view them as a superior who knows things that I want to glue myself to them and listen to them talk about things and just learn from them. I don't feel that often, because usually I feel like I'm the one who knows too much, or I have an opinion that doesn't need to change, and listening to some other person ramble that to me feels very intelligent, intelligent, raw, and above what I already know, that excites me. I want to be like, I want to eat your brain. It excites me. Nothing excites me except for that, because I feel like I've already learned whatever I care for in life. So, in retrospect, he's stuck because I feel like he doesn't separate characters. I don't know about aspirations and goals, only he knows that. But if I were to reach his position, I would stay the same, where I would find everything boring, and the only thing that would probably excite me is doing things differently with newly acclaimed fame and money. He says he rejects things to make it so his Markiplier doesn't change, so he doesn't disappoint his fans. So he's afraid of changing Markiplier, but he already has, by being so, I don't know, exaggerative, because he perceives him being energetic, him being overly happy. It's sort of like one of my previous rants in Welcome to Hanwell, where I say happiness, or the exploitation of happiness, kills you, or it erodes you. Markiplier's not doing it for evil intent or manipulation, though, but it's just him forcing himself to be overly happy, or to be what he thinks people want of him, of Markiplier rather, is not what he wants, perhaps. But, I mean, that's why for me you have to separate it. You have to have a difference. Just like I said, pink guy is different from the real guy behind pink guy. Everyone is different. Markiplier is the only exception where it's, what does Markiplier want? Yeah, okay. But that's basically my thing. And with me and my thing, what I was trying to say is like me feeling lousy. I know what I want in life. But the problem is, all the times I've wanted something in life, they've always been just a few feet away. They've always been just sort of out of reach, where I can't obtain it unless I wait. So my problem is, I always have to wait for things to fall onto my lap, or for it to happen, because I know what I want and how to get it. But the thing holding me back is time, or it's not ready yet. So I'm always waiting for things to get prepared for me. Because everything else is just, I either predict it so much that everything is boring, because I analyze and analyze and analyze and analyze and predict everything, so that all of life is just boring to me. That's my conundrum. Nothing excites me unless I haven't predicted it yet. But everything is predictable. Like, if I go to movie theaters to watch Star Wars, I've already predicted everything. My brain's already analyzed every fucking variable that could happen. Like, oh, who dies? Who doesn't die? Why do they die? What are the reasons? I analyze in my sleep. I analyze in my dreams. I analyze everything. I analyze until I die. I could be like in a dream, analyzing, if I had this random conversation with my mother in 5 years in the future, or 5 years in the past, and this was my reaction, and this is her reaction, and this is my reaction, and this is her reaction, and this is what I would say, and that is what they'd say, probably, or this is what they could say, this is this, and then I would say this to ensure the most optimal conclusion. That is my life 24/7. I think nonstop, and it's troublesome. So that is my conundrum. Everything is boring to me. It doesn't mean I'm fake when I'm doing things, but it's just, that's why it seems obvious that when I find something truly exciting, that is what I want to be recorded, when I find something special. Because that excitement in my tone, or me getting, like, me giggling, me laughing, me getting giddy, because I found a really awesome game, like that you could even see with, like, Clay that I'm playing recently, is you see that genuine raw emotion that I myself don't even feel a lot. And that being that I can record my genuine raw emotions for others to see at the time that it sparkles the brightest, like a fireworks. Me being that excited for something is something I barely see in my own life, and I get to share it with you. And I find that extremely exciting to show people. Like, it makes me happy to see that of the times I feel like I'm sort of flatlined in life, which is the normal, when I actually am excited for something, which can happen with the rare games that make me feel excited for once, to show that, and to show it to myself, it's exhilarating. It's a nice feeling, because I know when I'm truly fucking happy, like truly, not when high, not when drunk, not when finding something out or learning, but when I just find something exciting, that raw emotion, I feel as if that raw emotion is as powerful in energy, raw energy, as the fucking sun. If you find me extremely excited for something, I am a fucking sun in energy. With Markiplier, though, I don't know if he knows what makes him turn into a sun of energy, if you get what I'm getting with that analogy. That raw energy. I know what makes me like a sun, very shiny, very excited, and people probably like that too. But with Markiplier and a lot of people in the world, you can't gain it by forcing. You have to learn what you need or what you want, what the aspirations are in order to achieve it the most. And then hope they come more often than not. But my headphones turned off, and let us get back to the video. We've only gone through 2 minutes. It's going to be a long fucking video. Okay, let's get back into it.
I am now with almost 17 million people about to subscribe, and I'm trying to comprehend what that means.
It means you're popular.
'Cause
E-fame.
Like I don't know. I almost don't feel like I'm looking up anymore.
Yeah, that was one of the quotes I had on the paper. Not looking up anymore. So I'm guessing that would relate to the underdog story. We have to think, if he's not looking up anymore, then I guess what's stopping him? He sees himself as being on the top. It's no longer an underdog story. He's no longer crawling his way up. He's reached it. And now his question is, so what do I do now? What does Markiplier want? What does people want Markiplier to be? So you could ask, how can Markiplier revolutionize himself without disappointing his fans and without disappointing and without changing too much? But the issue already being that Markiplier has changed. It's just he doesn't notice it. And the issue is, how can he notice it? And how can he get back to feeling like his old self? That is the conundrum. Being nostalgic to an old self that he says he doesn't realize he changed, or he can't feel the change, but he feels nostalgic anyways. If you feel nostalgic for a time in the past, that means you have changed. As a quote that I think I made, even, is, if you no longer feel nostalgic, if you no longer think to yourself, wow, that was really silly of me back then, whether it be like a week ago, a year ago, but you look back and you think, oh, that was silly, or wow, things have changed. You look back at your old self and you think nostalgically, and you're like, wow, I remember when I used to react like that, or wow, I used to be like that, or, you look back either in embarrassment or in shame or for comedic purposes. But if you no longer look back and go, wow, look at that change. But looking back, there's zero change, or there's a disappointing change, and you look back and you're like, I prefer back then. That means you're going backwards. You have to look back and be like, man, I made an ass out of myself. Or you look back and you go, man, I remember when I was so cringy. Or, man, I remember when I used to be so embarrassing. Or, man, I changed. In the past self, I was so miserable, but now I'm better. But Markiplier, he looks back and he's like, man, that was nostalgic. The underdog story, I like that. I want to get back to that. That's, you know, that's depressing. Whether he says it's not depressing or not, it's him wanting to feel that raw energy again. I can understand him. That's why I wanted to make this video.
You know, there are certain realities about this job that weren't apparent, you know, when I was starting out. And some of the harder realities are you can't be there for everybody. And
that's one of my problems that I don't know if I'd get an answer to. Be there for everyone? I mean, I like to see happy people. I like when people say, I like your videos, it made me happy, or seeing positive change. Markiplier does too, of course, but his face looks really weird, and I'm gonna just, that looks better. There we go, that bugged me. But can't please everyone. I don't know if that's an inner narcissism, or it's just he has such a huge amount of fucking empathy that he really, like, beats himself up over not being able to please everyone, even though it's an impossibility. So I think the only thing he can really do about that, really, is not thinking it's his responsibility to please everyone. It's do what you want. Do what Mark wants, not Markiplier. Do what Mark wants. That happens to be in character with Markiplier. And if it happens to be what fans like, then that's good. Because you gotta please yourselves and your fans at the same time. You gotta not try to make sacrifices in order to please the fans more than your own core self. Because I please myself before I please others. Being, of course, like me here, not Neco. I play games. I like games. I like playing exciting games I've never seen before. And I gotta hope others do too. If you don't, why are you here? That's the question. With Markiplier, it's, oh shit, they're not happy. I failed them. With me, it's, oh, they didn't like the video. Well, that sucks for them. I'm not gonna change it. These are my videos. It's indie horror. And if they didn't like it, why the fuck are you here? Just like me playing Turok. I uploaded it. It's my channel. That's an old argument, but Turok is an indie horror. But if I lose subscribers because I'm playing Turok, then the question becomes, then why the fuck are you here? I play the games that excite me, and I hope they excite you too. If they don't, why are you here? If you're still here, well, thank you. But if you don't like the videos, why are you here? Markiplier, he shoulders the burden. He's like, oh, damn it. What can I do? They're not all pleased. How can I please them? Yeah, so let's continue.
That's the hardest blow to take first. When you realize that the personal connection that you had with your fans isn't as concrete as it could be.
Well, when you have, almost 17 million, you can't give each 17 million people a hand job. I'm just, that should be obvious, of course. Please as many as you can. I can't remember, there was a philosophical term, if it wasn't egalitarianism, it was like one of those like terminologies that I can't remember for the life of me, and it really bugs me. And it's basically the philosophy, it could be within egalitarianism, where it's you please as many people as possible. It's like you take the strategy, you take the route that pleases as many people as possible, including yourself. Failure is only when you please yourself under others. The highest amount of success, the quote or the philosophy goes, is no matter how evil it is, no matter how positive it is, as long as you pleasure yourself and others at the same time, in equal measure, or you greater. It's like, say, if this is you have to please yourself here, and others equal or lesser than, but you have to have a higher priority. Self has to always have higher priority, but if you can make it so it's equal, or yourself a little greater, then that is success. But with him, it's like Markiplier needs to please the fans. Markiplier needs or Mark's needs. Mark's needs are like really low. Markiplier's needs are maybe equal or a little less than. But Mark's, I don't even know what the fuck Mark's wants are. I don't know Mark. His needs are completely different from Markiplier's needs. Markiplier's needs are pleasing fans. Mark's needs are completely fucking unknown, which is probably why the identity crisis is even fucking here to begin with. What the fuck does Mark want? If you're saying you want to be more honest, then, like me, what the fuck does Jason, my name's Jason, by the way, it should be out, my business email even says my full name, but either way, what do Jason, want? Well, like right now, I do what the fuck I want when I want. I wanted to drink some fucking Honeycrisp apple cider alcohol, so I just went out and bought it. I'm honest with myself 24/7. If I want pizza, I eat pizza. If I'm low on money and I'm like, shit, I really want to buy that thing, I'll just wait until I can buy it. No, I'll do it. Nothing is holding me back. Others don't stall what I want. If I want something, I'm going to get it. Whether it means I have to sacrifice something, you have to please yourself before others. You just have to hope that in your path of self-pleasing, that on that path you also are able to please others without sacrifice, without loss. So, I don't know about the whole please everyone thing, but it's an impossibility unless you can balance it. If you can't, you might need to meditate on that a little bit more.
And you get stuck in this weird loop where if you can't please everybody, then you have a tough time pleasing anybody.
It could be turned into complete sexual annotation. You can't please any. I found that false, of course, because in these kind of videos, you look down, you'll be like, you won't disappoint me, or I'm going to hug him. Without you, some of us would be depressed. It's always going to be people who have positive messages who will just completely, dismiss it, and that's an obvious. Everyone just loves them. It'll always be, and no offense to the fans, I'm just going to call it a circle jerk. I don't mean that in a negative tone, but it's what we all expect. Let's be honest. Is he makes a sad or serious video, it's going to become a circle jerk of sympathy and empathy. I'm not saying in the bad way. Don't dislike my video. Don't, no! But it's not... the sympathy... He's not looking for sympathy. I think I would know him enough just by psychology and my interpretation of him. He's not looking for sympathy. He's looking to rant and for people to listen to him. But sympathy isn't going to help him. People's messages of happiness is probably like a drug where he can eat it and be like, I feel better now, thank you. But that's not a long-term solution. His long-term solution has to be, please, Mark. You can't please everyone and then not even think about yourself. I don't even know if he's going to, if he even brings up how to be honest and please myself before others. It's always about others, about the fans, about what Markiplier wants, what's the perception of Markiplier. Never about Mark. And that's the always thing that's weird about it, is you never see him talk about what Mark wants. We only see his life, what he gets done, what the fans want, what he sees in himself. But when he sees himself, it's just what he sees in Markiplier rather than what he sees in Mark. That's the difference.
Not to say I only do videos to please you guys, but it's the conundrum of choice. The more choice you have, the less happy you are because you're not able to commit your time to something. And again,
the more choice you have. Wait, what was that?
I'm not. It's the conundrum of choice. The more choice you have, the less happy you are.
That's bullshit. I think you can't juggle your personal life and it's affecting your business life. If I have more choice, also his face is also strange to me. I'm going to, there we go, that looks happy. When you have more choice, the question of the course becomes how much time do you have and how to do how many options. And for me, it's like, well, I want to wake up, I want to have a coffee. I want to eat something that can, make me energetic, and I'm really low maintenance, so I'm not really hard to please at all, which is why I don't have these problems. And if I even get as famous as Markiplier, I probably won't have these problems, because my needs, I know what I want, but to get what I want, my ultimate journey outside of YouTube, my personal life-wise, I have to wait for what I want. I have to wait years and years before I can even get what I want. So it's my conundrum is I don't have options, but I hope to have options. But when I do get options, I'm going to use it to probably, I don't know, please a lot of people. Because it's like, for me, it's not about the money too. When I make money, I'll probably also donate most of my money to fucking charities and shit, and make a wish foundation. Because for me, as long as I have an apartment, I can pay rent, I can afford a nice computer and computer upgrades and games and like just you know like fucking a room and air conditioning, heat, utilities, the common shit. That's all I care for. I don't need an excess of money. If I can travel with the money, that'd be great, because I want to meet YouTubers. I want to meet people. I want to meet other YouTubers like Markiplier. I'd love to meet Markiplier. But the thing is, choice isn't the problem. It's knowing how to juggle life, knowing how to juggle responsibilities, knowing how to juggle personal needs, business needs, and obligation needs. I know how to do that, so it's never a problem for me. So it's just... It doesn't make you lose freedom for having more choice. People probably would disagree about that part, but I know where he's getting at. But it's the more you juggle and you think it's your responsibility. My spiritual animal is like a fucking sloth. Like, you seen them on YouTube? They're like, ah! They just crawl around. They shit on themselves. They hang on branches and sleep most of their lives. That's me. That's what I want to be. That's my spiritual animal. Markiplier, I don't know what his spiritual animal is. I don't know, he's like a golden retriever, probably. He's like Chica. All golden retrievers love to be active, love to be people persons, love to go swimming and finding people and greeting them and going, "Hi, I'm a golden retriever. Put something in my mouth." That's a golden retriever. There's just like that dog in the movie Up. Really excited, fucking sidetracked easily, loves to be active, loves to be social, family dog. Markiplier's basically like that. But the problem is, you have to know how to juggle what your needs are, basically.
You're not able to commit your time to something. And again, I'm not saying, like, I'm not trying to say I'm depressed here. I'm not. I actually am happier than I have been making videos.
All that's him saying is he'd probably be in a shittier position if he wasn't making videos. He is depressed, but he's not depressed. You can't say what are the quotes? I feel lost and not looking up anymore. I feel lost. I feel like I'm aimlessly wandering. I'm tired of it. That feeling of staying in limbo. Tired of not seeing myself going anywhere. If that doesn't sound depressing, I don't know what the fuck is. I think there's some kind of denial of... He denies being depressed. Probably because of some kind of cognitive dissonance of him not wanting to tell the people he wants to cheer up that, hey, I'm depressed too with you guys. He wants to be like the shining beacon of hope and happiness for others, to infect you guys with happiness. But the problem is, if you're depressed, then who are you going to make happy? That's the conundrum. But no, you are depressed. You're stuck in limbo, and you say it yourself.
But the one part where I'm not as happy, and it's becoming more apparent the more dedicated I am back into making videos. And what happens is, and let me just give you a snippet of what my life is right now, how fucked up it's become since I was in engineering school, aspiring to do YouTube videos in my bedroom, to now where I'm actively turning down movies and TV roles and book deals, and like I'm saying no to all these things just because, like, I didn't come for that. You know,
I feel... Why am I pausing it in the weird sections? There you go. That looks a little better. I mean, whether you refuse it or not, it depends. The question goes back again to... That's what I think his reactions of saying, I turned them all down, is what he thinks Markiplier would do. I don't know if it's what Mark would do. Because I think if he wanted to do those roles, he'd probably see himself as either selling out, or it would introduce a change. Like when you think of, say, John Trom, he went more professional. He got his own fucking studio and shit, but he still is really hands-on in his shit. He hasn't changed. He went from amateur recording self and ranting about games to a studio where he has so much potential, so much more options. It's not a problem for him. It's just juggling and trying to create that seamless lack of change where his content is very much the same. It's just higher quality. With Markiplier, he turns things down and thinking that you'd change if you were to accept any fame or any success, or just something would change that is crucial to your well-being. And that's very false, but I can see where he would feel endangered because of that feeling. Like, what if it has a, backlash? What if I change? Fear of change might be the the topic at hand, other than identity crisis and fear of change in a way that he can't control. And with more options means he has less stability. With less stability means the current conundrum of feeling like he's lost. Stagnating, hollow, limbo. So we always have to keep that in mind. We have to just understand self so we can understand how to manipulate the world around us.
I don't know. I feel like I don't deserve it.
But everyone's going to say, that's a crock of shit, shut the fuck up and accept it. And everyone says that. It's a circle jerk. I mean, I feel the same way. It's just like, if I get famous, I mean, it means I can do more, I can donate money, and I can buy more games, I can enjoy buying the newest fucking technology, so I don't have to use a single AMD 480 card. I could probably buy like fucking hardcore fucking graphics card that's more expensive and more fucking hardcore, and buy a new CPU and motherboard so I can play games at higher quality, both for you guys and for myself. But since I don't have that option, I have to make compensations. Let's keep going.
In a way, like, I haven't earned it yet, and
This reminds me of my brother-in-law. It's sort of like those who buy Steam games excessively. It's people that never are satisfied with what we have. It's a generational problem, I think, of our time, whether you be 30, 40, or 20 years old. It's like the people of the now sort of have this very same feeling of what one has achieved now is never good enough, and you keep pushing yourself. And it's like my brother-in-law, I hope he forgives me if he finds out I'm talking about him, is he keeps buying things almost compulsively. Like, he's like me, where if we go to a grocery store and we see like a new brand of candy, a new chocolate, or a new meal we haven't tried before, and it really, it makes us think, we're like, wow, that looks interesting. I want to try it. Whether it could be shitty, could be a waste of money, could be too expensive, we want to try it. We want to compulsively buy because what we have now as an achievement or a sense of master status is never good enough. And he says, I don't deserve it. After 17 million, after saving who knows how many people's lives because of his own energy, he says it's not worth it. So then you have to ask yourself, when the fuck is it worth it? For me, I'm always fucking worth it. Fuck you, I'm always worth it. I know that's not me being arrogant, but it's just, you have to be confident. Confidence is key in a lot of things, and I never understood it when I was a kid. I hated confidence because I always thought adults paraded around like, arrogance. They held arrogance in their hand or on their shoulders like a badge of fucking honor. And as a kid, I always looked at it and was like, God damn, that guy's some cocky little fucking bastard. It always pissed me off because people are like, well, what you're missing, okay, is confidence. I remember I wanted to be a firefighter. And I tried to get a position in a co-op in high school in a fire station. And the fire chief he just smacked me down. He's like, well, I'm not gonna bring you to the co-op program because you lack confidence. And I was like, you know how much it took me as an introvert to pull up the confidence and the courage to come into an interview alone with in the fire station to possibly try to go towards a path that is my dream? He shut me down because he thinks I lacked confidence. But to me, it was, you just didn't understand introverts. An extrovert not understanding an introvert and not giving people a chance just because they're not, radiating with, oh yeah, I want this job, give it to me now. But that's my past self. I fucking still hate that dude, that fire chief, because of it, because he denied me for the stupidest fucking reason. And I always saw people with confidence as people who are just really fucking arrogant. And that's typically what confidence is to me. Confidence is it's not a badge of honor, but it's to be able to confidently know when you deserve something, when something is, when to put your foot down, when not to put your foot down, and without falling off the tightrope that is confidence. Where if you fall off the tightrope of confidence, you can become arrogant, or you can become ignorant. So you could be confident, but you could completely lose it just by falling off and becoming arrogant or ignorant. It's not about what you deserve, it's about what you want at the time. Just take. It's yours for the taking. It's not about whether one deserves it. Like, if I got famous and someone gave me a book, I'd not be like, oh, I don't deserve it. I'd be more like, well, how would this push my narrative of, not a political narrative, no. How would it just push me forward? How would it progress what I want? So if someone came to me with like a book offer, I'd be like, well, how the fuck does this help me? One was like, well, you can get money. I got enough money, I would say. I was like, well, if you got a book, let's say, then it's just like, well, you could tell your story to people. I'm like, well, I mean, it could maybe help people. Maybe if they read my story and they understand where I've been, and maybe it could help them. Because I know psychologically, it could help people who can see that they're in my position, what I was in the past, and they can see how I got out of it, and it might help them. But a book deal, a movie deal, I don't see the need to reject them unless I just don't feel interested in them. If I was offered something, usually it's like if someone offers me a ride home, if someone offers me candy, I'll be like, well, I'm not really in the mood for candy, but in a month from now, I might really want some fucking candy. It depends on what I want at the time and the confidence to know what you want, just fucking take it. That's normal to be human. But Markiplier is just like, no, Markiplier needs to reject this. Markiplier is fucking all about you. It's Markiplier doesn't want to change. He wants to please everyone. He wants to jack it all off without changing. Now, let's get back.
And I feel like in that, because what it's the whole choice thing, you know. I've got so many options that I can do, and I've got so many ambitions of what I want to do. It's not like I don't have goals, but there's so many things that I could focus my time on that you end up focusing on nothing.
The solution then is baby steps, one step at a fucking time. What has a higher priority, and what is the most interesting to you in those goals? Grab one. Maybe write it down on a paper to make it more concrete. Some people need to write journals. Some people need to write it down to make it more concrete. Like if you have school, you might need to write down on a calendar when the deadline is. Other people, you can, like me, I can just remember it in my head, and then it gets stressed out the closer it gets to the fucking deadline. So if he has so much choice, but you can't, that meme where you're juggling all the balls, like, I can't handle all these balls. Grab one ball, put the others in a basket, and be like, I'll do this. Problem solved. Problem solved. Take one, baby steps. Do this, finish, done. Grab another ball, done. Let's move on.
And you end up just kind of drifting, but you're like, I can't give everything my undivided attention.
Why are you trying to juggle all these balls?
So what would even be the point of like starting now, and then you just end up in limbo? And I know it.
Well, then why are you doing only 5% to all these balls? 5% in all these balls aren't going to get you anywhere. Put them down, get one ball, then go 5%, 10%, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100%. Oh man, I'm not in limbo. I just finished something. Grab another ball. Don't juggle so many fucking balls. Moving on.
It might seem like I'm whining here. Oh, success, it sucks so much. Nah, that's not what I'm saying. Because like me doing this has never been about me being successful. It's been about, this amazing journey that I've been able to be a part of, and the amazing people that I've met along the way, and the opportunities that have been given to me. Oh, I'm a mess, sorry. I don't know. I just feel lost. Like, I feel like I'm aimlessly wandering. And I'm tired of it. Like, I'm tired of that feeling. I'm tired of that feeling of, just staying in limbo. I'm tired of seeming like I'm not going anywhere, spinning my wheels. Because in the beginning...
Let's just pause it here then. So that's the biggest main point that one would have to focus. We're going... Oh, jeez, how long have I been doing this? Let me look at the webcam. Ugh, and my hair's a mess. 50 fucking minutes. Fuck me. What the fuck? Oh my god. Maybe I need to start skipping ahead and shit. And going only to the important points. Fuck me. Oh, god damn it. Me seeing 55 minutes. That. Oh, no. I'm always making blogs and being like, oh, this is gonna be quick. Don't worry about it. 2 hours later. Oh boy, I just have to hope my recording of Markiplier's video, of course, also doesn't, because I'm recording my desktop at the same time. I gotta hope it doesn't crash. Let me just, like, stop it quickly. Oh shit. Is it even recording? Are you recording, buddy? Are you frozen? Let me double check, guys. Let me you're recording? Yeah. I need to, I don't even know if I recorded. Let me double check now. Alright, apparently I've been recording it fine, so I'm going to start another recording just so my shitty AMD Relive, it's not really shitty, but it's like, it crashes after a long period of time, and I'm fearing like I'd lose track. So, let us get into this. Let's just get into it, and I'll skip ahead if it's all... I'll just skip ahead until important things of what this happy-looking guy says.
Of this channel, like, I didn't give a fuck about the rules. I didn't give a fuck about how people thought YouTube videos should be done.
And now you sort of do. That's basically one of the other problems I found is he said he didn't give a fuck. He just made it because it made him happy, and it coincidentally also made other people happy. And now it feels like he's shackled to shackled to options and shackled to responsibilities, and you're juggling all those balls, so it's like...
God, dude, what am I trying to say? I was just doing Let's Plays, but...
And now you are Markiplier. You went from, I'm the guy that makes Let's Plays and doesn't give a fuck, to, I'm that Markiplier guy who's famous. There's a difference. For me, I'm just a semi-energetic, philosophical, analyzing, sort of asshole-ish, genuine, honest, blunt, nice guy who makes videos and hopes people enjoy it. I will never change that. I mean, people might think, well, just you wait 15 million subscribers later. Maybe you will. And to that I say, you're fucking on. Because I know myself very strongly. And YouTube's not going to save me. YouTube is just something I'd love if it could turn into a job so I could please more people and make a broader audience. I'd love to start where I could make Let's Plays and I could have a separate channel where I could cook things and show people how easy it is to cook without having to stress over cooking. Like if you have an anxiety disorder and you look at baking, you really want to bake something delicious, but you're like, but it's all stressful having all these ingredients, and what if I mess up? What if I burn it? Or what if I do too much of something? I know how you feel, and I'd love to make a channel to make it so I'd cook shit and just like make it all funny and be like, so the fucking eggs in the fucking bowl, and I'd show it all cooked and wonderful, I don't know, and then I'd set it on fire for comedic purposes. But now the point of that, I'd love to brandish it and be like, I'll change, I'll have Neco the cooking channel, and I'll cook some cupcakes, and I'll be, look at these cupcakes, it was this easy, just throw this in, throw that in, cook it, and it's done. Enjoy some fucking cupcakes instead of stressing over it. Because I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh man, I want some banana bread, but I was too stressed about fucking it up. Now when I'm older and I've done it already, I'm just like sort of throw that in there, fucking baking soda, baking powder, fucking flour, fucking bananas, throw it in there. The only thing I stress over is how fucking moist and juicy it'll be, and I'm like, with banana bread, do I need to seal it so it's airtight and the moisture stays contained within, or would that increase, fucking bacteria buildup? Is it appropriate to make it so the banana bread stays in the air for 6 hours or overnight before I start stealing it. Because the air can actually make it so the top of the banana bread glistens. That's the kind of stupid shit I fucking analyze over. Not whether I screwed it up or not, but the optimal way to ensure the banana bread is fucking moist and glistening and sticky at the top. Because that's the best way to have banana bread. Holy shit, banana bread with a sticky, soft and gooey top. If it's dried, fuck off. Banana bread can't be dry. It has to have a moist, sticky fucking top. Moving on.
You know, I was doing vlogs like sometimes 2-3 times a week just because I wanted to talk to you guys. And I couldn't get enough of it. Like, I could not get enough of it.
It goes back to choices. So he wants to nostalgically make a lot of vlogs, but he also finds himself so he doesn't. He does it for maybe subscriber milestones or him possibly crying or making vlogs about serious stuff like this. So then the question really becomes, then where do you not find the time? Due to choices, then doing nothing, and him feeling like in limbo. Why not just sit in the computer chair and just rant about something? I'm here ranting about something. I could rant about coffee for 20 minutes, and I want to talk to you guys about coffee. Barista Prima, Italian roast. But it's again about taking baby steps, not juggling so much, one thing at a time. So if he watches this and takes any advice out of it, I hope it helps. If not, then oh well, and then I'm just ranting for the sake of ranting.
Couldn't stop talking to you guys, and I couldn't give up on it. I could never give up on it, and that feeling, that feeling. I'm an introvert.
Most people on YouTube are.
That feeling.
The feeling. My feels.
The feeling of knowing that what you say influences people.
Yep.
And that feeling of knowing that each and every one of those people matter. And that feeling of just raw creation and that feeling of raw, unexplored territory.
Saying raw creation almost sounds like it's sexualized. Like when I think raw creation, I think birth. So I hope you're not impregnating everyone, Markiplier. That'd be kind of weird.
And knowing that, like, you don't know what's around the corner, like that.
That feeling, what's around the corner? That feeling. Saying feeling like 20 times.
Feeling.
Wait, okay, I gotta replay that. Hang on.
Unexplored territory, and knowing that, like, you don't know what's around the corner, like that feeling.
That facial expression is everything. The feeling. What's around the corner? Is it Jacksepticeye? Who the fuck knows? I don't know what to say. It's really funny. Maybe melodramatic.
And I'm afraid, I'm afraid that, like, I'm afraid that I've been doing this for so long that I've lost, like, even the possibility of feeling that again.
The possibility of feeling... I don't even remember what his other point is, because he said feeling so often, the main point, so it got lost on me. But still feels lost. It goes back to, what the fuck does Mark want to do? Not what does Markiplier want to do. What the fuck does Mark want to do? And then do it without juggling too many things at once. Moving on.
Like, that's my biggest fear. That's always been my biggest fear is losing my way on YouTube. I mean,
The conundrum then with many YouTubers, many fans like myself, is like how I started the video is, I feel like he's changed. And in such a way that I don't even watch Markiplier anymore. The 2011, 2013 Markiplier were like the prime years to me. After that, it feels like, in my opinion, my perspective, Markiplier became a mix of old PewDiePie and where it's like a lot of acting, a lot of exaggerating, a lot of forced feelings, a lot of forced energy, rather than just raw self. And then PewDiePie, not too long ago, PewDiePie evolved from old PewDiePie to a new PewDiePie, which is a mixture of pink guy, or I can't even remember his fucking channel name now. Fuck me. Gee, you guys know what the fuck I'm talking anyways. But pink guy's form of entertainment, is sort of like, it felt like to me PewDiePie went from old screechy, or what many would just say autistic PewDiePie, and his new self to me is like pink guy mixed with PewDiePie's sense of entertainment. And everyone's sort of doing a hybrid of others, or what could be at least interpreted as a hybrid. Where Markiplier was just Markiplier, but now he's Markiplier with a mix of old PewDiePie. PewDiePie was just PewDiePie, which was his own thing, which people either hated or loved. And now PewDiePie changed and matured. I really... I was going to make a video about PewDiePie too, but I'm holding off right now. It'd be such a good video. I'd have to wait for the right time, though. But yeah, everyone changes or evolves if things stagnate, but Markiplier is like the only one who hasn't. He's sort of changed and he doesn't realize it. But I know a lot of people have all the times I've researched of, if you type in Google, has Markiplier changed? You're going to have a unanimous, no, he hasn't, or yes, he's gotten better, or a big chunk of people just saying, yeah, he's changed. I can't watch his shit anymore. And I'm one of those people, because like as I say, my channel is based on Markiplier. My channel only started because I wanted to continue my own interpretation, my perception of old Markiplier, of his raw energy. My channel is my raw energy mixed with his raw energy. Of wanting to do a mixture of, say, the Rad Brad, let's say, and Angry Joe, and Markiplier all mashed together. Where I'm ranty, I can get angry, but I'm like Markiplier, where I'm genuine and honest. I like that trait. I like that. And it matched with me. So, I don't see a need to change. So, with him, that's the issue.
Fuck, I don't care if my channel crashes and burns. I don't care about that. I don't care if I fade into darkness.
But that's sort of contradicting, because he wants to help people. And the only way to do that is to, broaden himself with the views, and he can't really help a lot of people, but he says he doesn't care if it crashes and burns. It's sort of a contradiction, like, if you think about it. Like, if you crash and burn, then how can you help people? How can you make people happy? You could say, I don't care if I crash and burn, because it's more so that'd be like, I don't care if I turn into Crazy Fred, you could say. Crazy Freddy, I don't know what the fuck that kid's name is, that screeching kid that's now a complete nobody. Basically, it seems like he's saying that. So he doesn't care if at some point he turns into a Crazy Fred, or he doesn't care if his channel just, at one point, he loses popularity and he just drifts into nothing, or he turns into Tobuscus. But he knows that won't happen, and it contradicts his Markiplier needs, but also likely his Mark needs, where he likes maybe the attention, or maybe he likes expressing himself.
Like, I don't care. I don't care if people hate my stuff, my content. I don't care if people...
But people aren't going to hate your stuff, because the circle jerking always happens. People won't hate it. People will, but they're a minority. And people either like myself, who are like, I can't really watch your new stuff, but your old stuff is awesome. And sometimes when he goes back to old indie horror roots, like old indie horror RPGs, and it reminds me of the past, I might watch it. But he says he doesn't care, but I mean, at the same time, he totally does. He totally does.
People don't like my videos. I've never cared about that.
Lies! Bullshit!
I'm not afraid of failure. I'm afraid of disappointing you guys.
And disappointment is failure. Failure is disappointment. Disappointment is failure. Bam. Mind blown.
Like, you are the most important thing that's ever happened in my life, whether you know it or not.
The fact that you remind people this probably every day. That's a stereotype with Mark, so I don't need to really rant about that. Everyone knows he says that a lot.
Because the most amazing thing isn't that I've helped people or that I've, saved lives. People say that all the time. I still doubt it. But the most amazing thing isn't that. It's that you guys saved me.
There's just that's the money shot. Unfortunately, though I'm trying not to seem like a dick by making light of his sadness. As you can see, this sad face that'll probably get other people emotional just by seeing that face. That face, it's like a crying dog. No one wants to see a crying dog. Trust me, no one wants to see a dog cry. When you see a dog cry, you just look at it and you're like, no, why are you crying, dog? Stop it, please. And you get all sad and emotional. Like my eyes watering now because I'm thinking of a sad dog crying. Dogs shouldn't cry. They should always be happy. And that's the same perception most people probably feel for Markiplier. He shouldn't cry because he's such a golden retriever. Golden retrievers don't cry. You want to see them happy because they're so oafish and friendly. Markiplier is a golden retriever.
I just want you guys to know that.
Everyone's already known that.
And I want you guys to know who I am.
No idea who you are.
And the only way that I can do that is by being more honest, both to myself and to you guys. And
that is of course the answer. The question is, how are you going to do it? It could be difficult. Because I don't know how used you are to doing that. For me, I'm always fucking honest. I'm blunt and honest all the time, so it's not a problem for me. The problem is, what are the consequences, and is it worth it, or will it just, hit me back in the face? Like, sometimes there are people being an ass, so I have to think to myself, if I be an ass right back to them, will it hit me back in the face later on, or will it be worth it? Will it be entertaining enough to be, worth the consideration, even if I do get some blowback? But with him, it's like I said, you had to take things one step at a time. Being honest is, it's easy to say. It's all bark and no bite, or it's all sizzle and no steak. So only actions in the future can really show if he actually understands what it means to be honest with yourself. Because I don't know if he knows how to be honest with Mark rather than be honest to Markiplier.
I'm a goddamn disgusting mess. I know that. I know it's horrible. I know.
Just like a goobering, drooling golden retriever that needs to get a little towel to wipe the drool off their maw. My family dog does that at the same time, and it's really, really gross how much goober comes out.
Oh, I know it's bad, but it's the truth.
Also, one thing I want to bring up randomly, what the fuck is with your fucking shoulders? How much have you worked out? There's like a massive tumor of muscle on the fucking traps and the fucking deltoids and shit here. Like, what the fuck have you been doing? If you look at old Markiplier and new, the only thing I've noticed is just like his shoulders going from either flat or curved. Now it's just like a fucking mountain on his fucking shoulders. The fuck is with your shoulders? I'm not insulting you, but where'd that muscle come from? The fuck? I just wanted to say that.
It's the truth of who I am, and it's the truth of where I've come from, and it's the truth of where I'm gonna go. If I want to be where I want to be, I have to take the right steps.
Yes, and baby steps.
And I have to make the right choices, and I have to make a conscious effort every day to be better.
Yeah,
not just a drifting blasé, do my videos every day because I'm obligated to do that. No. And I'm not saying I'm not going to do my videos. Don't get scared about that. I'm not quitting YouTube. That's not what this video is about. I'm not doing that. That's no, not at all. Even if it may sound like that. No, God, no. I'm not quitting. God, no.
I mean, it's sort of like, that's where the contradiction comes from. He says he doesn't care if his channel crashes and burns, but he's so attached. He's like, no, I will never stop. I will never. I don't care about the haters, but I don't care if it crashes and burns. So that means you could turn into a Tobuscus, but you'd still be making videos? Questionable. Because Tobuscus stopped. Crazy Fred's just making stupid videos now that involves asking children shit as if he just took fucking lessons from fucking, I don't even remember the name, the something bros. The watch children react, watch grandparents react videos. I can't remember who the fuck they are, who cares? But yeah, it's easier to say it now, but when it happens and shit's going down to hell and it depresses you, and a channel's dying and crashing, it's easier to say that won't affect me. I'll continue making videos forever. And until it happens. That's probably what I would say.
No, I'm not quitting. Because I couldn't give up. I'm not gonna give up. Like, again, at the beginning of this video, I said I'm not depressed, and that's 100% true. I'm not. I'm happier than I've ever been in creatively, like making cool things. I'm just remembering.
So basically, he's probably saying, in my interpretation, Markiplier is happy, but Mark isn't, because Mark is starting to remember. Mark is becoming self-aware, but Markiplier is happy. Markiplier is not depressed, but Mark is. Markiplier's talking, but I don't know if it's Mark. Markiplier, I think, is trying to say Mark wants to be honest more, but Markiplier is happy. Mark's depressed, but Markiplier is not depressed. But Mark is remembering things. So whether or not Mark comes out of it alive and he screams, calling out, saying, "Help! I'm actually the real Mark! Markiplier's a big phony! Help!" And then he gets tucked back down like Batman and Clayface in those old Batman animated feature cartoons that were really awesome. Those were really gruesome moments. He almost drowned in mud. That was disgusting. Let's move on.
How important it was to come across as who I really am and love the things that I really do. And I feel like I haven't been able to show you guys the things that I love because the only thing I love is the thing that you guys make.
What we make? I'm sort of confused by that. I'm sure other people will break it down and be like, Neco, he meant this.
Like, God, I love it. And I'm afraid that you guys get sick of it because I'm not really a fan of like music, and I'm not really a fan of other things. Like, I love space and all that, but if you were to summarize the list of things I love, it comes down to Chica, my girlfriend, space, like my family, my friends, and then like what? I don't listen to music. I drive with silence. I'm not a fan of anything but you guys.
So weird. Music is probably a necessity in life, but it's like, so like, when he drives in his car, is his radio just of like people randomly talking about Markiplier? I don't know, but I don't know, that brings up like something concerning, but I can't really put my finger on it. Not about the music, but about the whole,
Like, I love space and all that, but
he says what he makes is what everyone makes. But it's like, but he dismissed video, movie, and other options. But he doesn't really say why. He says it's like, it's not... I don't know, I can't even remember, fuck that. But it's like past fucking topic. I don't want to get back to it, but it's just like, it seems like a, you know, a silly reason to turn it down, basically. Because if he says he does what is exciting, then it's like, why wouldn't those be exciting? Why would those be negative actions? Because it just feels like he only denied them because it goes against the current flow and a fear of change that's not controlled. I don't know.
If you were to summarize the list of things I love, it comes down to I drive with silence. The amazing things that you guys can make, and seeing you grow, and seeing you go on and make your own things, and seeing what you can do, and it's amazing.
I bet you haven't even seen one of my videos. Fucking asshole. You haven't seen what I've made. I make semi-similar fucking videos. I just felt like doing that.
And I love it.
You haven't seen any of my shit, I bet.
I love it so much.
Stop lying to me. You're hurting my feelings.
And that's the feeling.
Feeling.
That's the feeling.
We need a meme about feelings. He says it a lot. It has to turn into a meme. Like, just a good caption of his face, like, and it just caption saying, the feeling. Feeling.
I missed showing that just pure and simple adoration of what you guys do for me. It's not like I'm saying worship me as an idol, make more fan art. No, I'm not even saying about the stuff you make for me. Like just the stuff that you
Make more gay fan art. Probably is what he wants.
guys do. It's amazing. It is unbelievably amazing.
The feeling.
And I never want to lose that feeling.
That feeling.
I gotta make sure that every day, every single day, I chase that feeling. Because that's what drives me. That, above all else, making cool shit is fine, but that's what gets me out of bed in the morning. That's what makes me pull an all-nighter. That's what makes me want to be better. That's what makes me want to show you guys.
I'm glad, I'm thinking like what he's saying is like what excites him is seeing other people happy and excited, and that's what drives him to want to get up is seeing other people be excited for him. I don't know. I mean, that's, I guess, an unlimited supply of energy in some way, but it still doesn't please Mark. Went from being sorrowful to making it the ending of a video be more, you know, joyful, but you didn't fix any problem unless you're trying to say this video is the start of something. But since a lot of people have seen these sort of depressive videos where a lot of people have seen this coming, or it has been happening for a while now, then you being sad, venting, and then feeling a little alleviated doesn't change anything, does it? You're still gonna juggle too much. You're still gonna not take one step at a time. Maybe you will take those kind of lessons to heart. I don't fucking know. We had to see about that, but these are just my tips for you, but I doubt you'll see my videos. We'll see. It's too fucking long. Who the fuck could watch this shit? Jesus Christ.
What I can do. That feeling is everything.
Everything.
Anyway, I thought I was done blubbering, but I had a little more blubber in me. But I think I'll end it here. It's been rambly enough.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Rambling, just put it up. Yeah.
It just feels like more of a rant video to leave you. Wait. That's not a good. That's like an orgasm face.
Thank you, everybody.
There we go. So, I don't know. When you have a video that says, I feel depressed, I'm not depressed, but I'm stuck in limbo, or I don't deserve it. So many options, but focusing on nothing. I feel so lost. I'm aimlessly wandering. I'm tired of it. That feeling of staying in limbo. Tired of not seeing myself go anywhere and not looking up. You know, you can't fix that just by saying, oh, I'm going to be happy, this excites me, and then leave at a positive note. So basically everything I've talked about just needs to be addressed, you know, like fucking one thing at a time. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of experimenting, and please mark before Markiplier, and if you could please Mark and the fans, and please Markiplier, I mean, then you have a circle jerk, like here, Markiplier and Mark, and then fucking fans. Then you're circle jerking everyone. You're giving them everyone a reach around. Everyone gets a reach around, like one of those Oprah fucking announcements. Everyone gets a reach around. Everyone gets bees. Everyone gets it, and some lubricant maybe, but. Outside of that, that is my rant on Markiplier's rant, where his is 13 minutes and mine is fucking 1 hour and 24 minutes. So it's like for every minute he ranted, I ranted for like fucking 30 minutes for every minute of his. It's gonna take a long time to to edit. I don't even know if people are going to really give a shit about this, but I'm going to upload it anyways. I probably can't sleep anymore. And I have a work shift. It's going to be miserable. It's going to be fucking weird. But I tell you guys, I'm going to make a sandwich, because this is what I want to do. And a coffee. A coffee and a sandwich would be so fucking good right now. So I'm going to do that, and nothing's going to stop me. Because once a Sergal puts their mind to anything, they will fucking do it. If they want to kill you, they'll just put their mind to it, and they'll kill you eventually. And for me, I want a sandwich, and I want a coffee, so I'm going to go do that. So I hope you enjoyed my rant on his rant, and maybe learned something, or maybe you agree with my interpretation of his behavior, because we haven't learned anything about Mark. We haven't. We learned Markiplier said, I want to be more honest, and this is what excites me, and this is what makes me get up in the morning. But we did not learn any revelations. We know, if we merely analyze what's his problems, we can say, well, this is the problem, go do that. But we don't know if he's going to do that. We don't know if he's even learned anything. He just ranted for 13 minutes. It could be just a rant for the sake of ventilation, but without anything to learn by it. He says he wants to change. He wants to start something fresh. Like, this could be, like, he wants to be more honest. But like I said, bark, no bite. If you don't recognize what made you want to say, the feels, limbo, being stuck, being lost, if you don't remember why you felt that way, and you ventilate, and you lose the sensation of why you felt that miserable, then you're not going to improve it. You're just going to feel that same negative feeling later in the month, later in the day, later in the week. And it'll be limbo again. So his limbo could very well be, I feel this miserable. It's this exact message I want to give out. But as soon as he vents, it's just gone. And he's like, wow, I wonder why I vented. And then he has to vent again later. Unless he actually fixes it and does one thing at a time. Unless he does probably what I advise or suggest that he does. One thing at a time, less juggling so many balls, be appreciative and not be so OCD or compulsive, and just be happy with what is the foundations that you have in front of you. Like I was bringing up my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law, I guess I didn't finish that story, so I will do it before ending this video. My brother-in-law, I brought him up because he buy like PlayStation 4 Pro and a new couch and new things for the house. He just keeps buying things and tasting new things that are food that he's not tasted before. And he does it, and we discussed it in the car briefly, and I was like, I think you do that just because you don't feel like that you've had enough. Like, nothing satisfies you. There's no end. It's like nothing, you don't feel like what you have now is your worth. You got to keep building up the worth. The materialism is a way a human tries to make yourself not feel so empty. It's sort of a habituated issue that you buy things to try to make yourself feel less lost or less empty. Like, people buy Steam games and never play the Steam games because a lot of gamers also feel empty and lost. Or they want to buy a game and they really hope they get clung to it, but it might be something that can't happen again because they're only doing that because of nostalgia, or they loved in their past when they were a child they could play tons of games and never get tired of. But as they get older, now they just buy any game they want. And they're just like, I don't want to play any of it. I buy The Witcher 3, I play 10% of it, and now I stopped. I'm like, well, I really wish I did finish Witcher 3. But now there's so many games coming out that we feel overwhelmed. So we buy so many games and we never get to all of them. It's the same thing. We don't really buy a Steam game, buy one, 100% it, and then move on. We buy 10 games, maybe finish half of one of the 10 games, and then buy 20 more. With Markiplier, it's juggling too many actions due to the too many options, and not sticking with one. And not knowing what Mark wants, rather than what Markiplier wants. I don't know how he is in real life, that's the thing. I don't think anyone knows what Mark wants. I don't know if anyone really knows what Mark wants in real life, except for maybe his girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. I thought that was just like a fucking myth. Because I always mistook Markiplier as a closet homo. Not in a bad way. Just, I really got that feeling. But, hey, he has a girlfriend now. Maybe he's bi. That's like completely random. That's not an insult. Trust me, but come on, you gotta come on. You couldn't think that he, in the past, you never had that interpretation that he was a closet gay, perhaps? I don't know. I don't know. I got that feeling, but I could be wrong. Or he's just bi. That's not even the point. But either way, I'm ranting too much now, and yeah, I'm an hour and 30 minutes. Anyways, that's my rant on Markiplier. So hopefully someone learned, or me wasting an hour. I wouldn't say wasting, but me using an hour and 30 minutes of me rather than sleeping, but me analyzing and listening to his ranting and me ranting. Hopefully people enjoy this. It's going to be a pain in the fucking ass. But hey, maybe people like me ranting in my sort of tired, groggy, maybe sexy voice. I don't fucking know. But hey, I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this analytical rant. If you did, please leave a like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and be a fluff subscriber. And until the next time, I'm fucking tired.